Good afternoon. Happy Monday. How are you guys? We are live. Yes, I am cold again, and I couldn't find my plain black hat, so zebra stripes it is today. It's been a morning, and I won't lie, I'm a little stressed out right at this moment in time. So those of you who follow me on Facebook would have seen that a couple nights ago I was laying in bed and I had my little room heater on. I have one of those ones that looks like a fake fireplace. Okay, blows hot air. It's new. It is like, what do you call it? Supposed to be made to be energy efficient, which I thought meant it doesn't pull like the old fashioned ones do that are known to be dangerous, all that. Anyway, I'm laying there and I start smelling that burnt plastic smell. And of course, the first thing I did was I go and unplug the heater, and I felt the socket was hot. Now I'm really freaked out. So like I'm feeling the wall, making sure I don't have a fire in my wall, all of that. But it got me really concerned. This is an older house that I have rented. And for those that don't know, I'm not even fully moved in yet. I literally am in the process of moving. We've been sleeping here since the second week of January. So just a couple weeks. We just replaced a whole bunch of electrical sockets that were bad throughout the house. So I did get the landlord to pay for that. So I put this post out, and it turns out that one of the guys from my church is an electrician. Like, hey, cool. So he came over this morning, inspected the socket, said the socket was fine. And then he said, let me look at the panel. We go out and look at the panel, and he's like, oh my. He goes, I hate to tell you this, but this is scary. The panel is filled with really old breakers that don't work. And just a little electricity 101. The breaker is there so that if you get too much wattage or voltage or whatever the term is going through that string of electricity, the breaker flips it off so that you don't have an overheating problem. Because what happens is when you send too much electricity through the wires, they overheat, which in turn then can become a fire. This is what breakers prevent. So he said, there's been a couple that have been replaced over the years, he says, but this whole panel needs to be replaced. They don't even use these type of panels anymore. It is super outdated, and this is an extreme fire hazard. So I have already found out that my landlords do not like to spend money to fix anything. So this is going to be a battle. I've actually already talked to an attorney. My only recourse is that if she refuses to make the house safe, I have the option of breaking the lease. But that would mean finding another place and moving again. So there is my stress. Man. Okay. I don't want to move again. I want to get moved in here. That kind of puts me in that limbo state too, now waiting to see what's going to happen, because I don't want to like unpack and get the whole house set up if I'm not going to be able to stay here. Yeah. But fire is like one of my worst fears. Like, we have a plan. Me and the kids talk about it. Like, what do we do if the fire starts here or the fire starts here? Everybody has animals that they have to grab if they can. That's the tough part, the if they can part. We have transport cages like next to the birds and next to the guinea pigs, that if there's time, we could put them in a smaller cage to get them out and that kind of thing. But, oh, yeah, stressful. Yeah, it's about a $2,000 fix. It's about a $2,000 fix. So it's like, yeah, I don't think they're going to negotiate down the rent based on that. They also have to fix an issue with the pool that I've already brought up to them, is the drain doesn't have the, what's it called? The I forget what it's called, but where the drain plugs don't have a special cover over them to prevent children from getting held down in the drain. And as you know, Rachel has really long hair. So again, it's another safety concern. I looked up, there's a federal law. They have to fix it. I already told her, I said, you don't have to fix it immediately, but you have to fix it before pool weather sets in. So again, got a couple of things. Yeah, we have fire extinguishers too around the house, because that is like a big issue for me. Yeah. But anyway, I haven't moved into an older house for a very long time, and I just wasn't even thinking of those things when I looked at the house. And I expect most people who are renting a house to human beings to make sure that things are safe. I'm rattling my desk. I'm like, so anyway, yeah, I appreciate those who pray. If you would just pray over this situation for me, because we love the house. We want to stay here. I haven't even given you guys a tour yet. The backyard is fantastic. We want to build a garden and get some chickens and a couple of goats, and yeah. So I am hoping that they will take care of it. They will take care of it. Found a really cool little service though, for talking and getting answers from an actual attorney. It cost $5 for me to ask my question. They answered me via text. It was super cool. Yeah. All right. So I'm still happy. Just got to work out some problems. Oh yeah, we have smoke alarms, but now looking at things like, I'm going to go through and test all the smoke alarms, because they look really old. And like I said, the landlord is not really on top of this stuff. So it wouldn't surprise me if the batteries haven't been changed in years. Yeah. Yeah. You would think they would not want their house to burn down. Like, I don't know, property value and all. Yeah. Okay. So really the topic today is about research and pricing. And that came about because we had a little bit of another little bit of a brouhaha in the Niche to Profit Facebook group that I run. And it's that we do have a rule about doing your own research first, giving us terms that you've used. And over, I find that sometimes the issues are you're overthinking the research, or you're not putting in the proper terms for research. So I want to try and help you guys with that actual research. Like, how do you come up with these answers? And it's not that I don't ask for help every now and then, but for the most part, I don't want to wait for an answer. I want to be able to grab that item and list it now, So learning to do that research and feel confident with my pricing has been a big deal for me. Hello, this Overstuffed House. Thank you for the thumbs up. Oh, you're doing another live sale. Awesome. You have lots of stuff. Yeah. So, and you probably don't want to research all that stuff. So, yeah. So we are going to do some live research demo here in just a moment. And I also had someone just shoot me some pictures of some items they're having trouble determining. Because a lot of times you guys are looking for the exact item. And if you are doing the antiques and collectibles selling business correctly, you want to be finding items that you can't find the exact item. So it's kind of this kind of goes against the grain there. So you have to learn how to get close enough in your research that you're confident in your pricing. Now, the other thing is that you know what you paid for it, right? You, not always, but usually have at least an idea if it's something super valuable or if it's something that's, it's kind of middle of the road, and it can be in a range anywhere from, $20 to $100, somewhere in there. Okay, right? So those are really important. And then the rest of it is just confidence. But one of the other things too is that you don't get hung up on what if I do it wrong? Because I see that a lot too. And one of the phrases, this comes into play a lot with the Murano glass, is, but what if I call it that and it's not? And my answer has always been, there are no Murano police. There's no Murano police. And what I don't mean to be flippant about that. I don't encourage you to list something incorrectly, but I encourage you to be confident enough in the information that you have and that you found that you're fairly certain that is what it is. And if you're fairly certain that is what it is, use the term. Go for it. And along with that, price it as if it is. Where I see sellers getting into trouble is if you call something a name that should be a very high-end maker or brand, but you don't price it as such. Then somebody's coming along thinking they're going to grab it and turn around and flip it and make money. And then they go, oh, wait, this isn't such and such, after they've done a little more research. So that's where you get into trouble. That's where you get into the buyers that get mad. If you price it high in the very beginning, what you're going to attract is the actual collectors of that item. And one of two things will happen. They either realize the price and pay it and have confidence that, they're paying for the real thing because they've looked over the pictures and the information and they know what they're looking at. Or two, they are just someone who absolutely loves what it is you're offering. They've looked over the pictures. It's worth it for them, and they get it and they love it and they don't care. So that's where the pricing high gets you the right buyer for that item. So hope that makes sense how I explained that. And that's true too, Tri-State Picker Mom, that some collectors will actually send you information to tell you why the item isn't what you're calling it. But caveat to that, I have had them be absolutely 100% wrong. I have had collectors or other people send me a message and tell me that I had something listed incorrectly when I knew for a fact I had not. So this again is where it comes down to developing that thing that you just know. And I saw another question come through the group this morning about how long did it take you to develop a niche? And so many answers said, I don't have one. I sell anything I can make money on. Here is my argument for developing a niche, is that you can get really, really good at knowing what the value of something is and attracting those highest paying buyers for that type of item. Now, it doesn't limit you to just one thing. I don't sell just one thing, but if you guys watch my videos, which I'm assuming since you're here, especially you in the chat are watching, that you see that I tend to veer towards the same type of items each time I go shopping, and I leave behind certain items each time I go shopping. I can't tell you how many comments I get saying, hey, you didn't pick up the such and such on that shelf at timestamp. And I tell them, it's not my niche. It doesn't excite me. I don't want to learn more about that. I don't want to have to find more of that to attract the buyers to that. So that's what the whole niche thing does for you, is it attracts that type of a buyer that's going to pay the better price for that genre of stuff. And they're going to look through your store and go, oh, well, I like that and that and that and that and that, and do a big old combined order too. That's niche. It's like, let me give you like real life example. You have specialty stores. When you walk into a specialty store, you know you're going to pay more, right? If you walk into the candelabra boutique to go buy your candelabra, you know that is going to cost more than if you go over to Walmart and go look in their home section for a candelabra, right? You go to the general store to shop on price, and because there's a wide variety of stuff, you go to the specialty store because you want to make sure you're getting quality and that you trust that the shop knows what they're selling you. So that's kind of just how you can look at it with your own virtual store. People have that same way of thinking. Even right now, I'm kind of cringing that I'm listing clothing in my shop. I'm rethinking it. I'm selling the clothing, but I'm assessing how that is affecting my sales overall by doing that and seeing if it's worth it. It's been a test for a couple of months. So generally, I don't like to put clothing in my antiques and collectibles store. But eBay has changed a little bit, and things have changed a little bit to where it might be okay now to a degree. But this goes back to now the research and pricing and getting really good. I think I actually saw someone answer this morning that they didn't want to have to spend a bunch of time learning about the thing that they were asking for help with. And how do I put this? If you want to specialize and be out there and finding, let's say, glass, because that's kind of like my thing, you have to learn about it. You have to. You are always going to be frustrated until you do put in some of the time to really learn what's what. And I say start with one type. Just start with one type at a time. Market positioning and branding. I never liked my marketing class, but some of it has helped. It's true. Like, that's what sets some sellers above others. You gotta acknowledge that, branding and marketing is a real thing. It's a real thing. Aaron had 2 clients scrambling to outbuy each other on some Mexican pottery today. Awesome. That's why, having multiples in your store. Yeah. Things I don't want to research are things I don't sell. There you go. So true. Yeah. So I learned about glass. Like, glass didn't just come to me. It was something I had an interest in. It fascinated me. I started collecting it first. I collected, I was bad. I was like back in when eBay first, in the early 2000s, I was a bad girl. I bought like every piece of opalescent glass I could find, every piece of EAPG I could find. Those were my 2 that I was really into until I started getting a little bit too much stuff. But by doing that, every time I got a piece, I would research it, then I have it, then I can see how it feels. I can look for more. I can look at the history. I look at patterns. I mean, that's really, I got the books, to help me identify. I would like just pour through I still have all those books too. Just pouring through the books, just reading information, learning about it. And that is how I gained my knowledge of glass, just starting to get my hands on it, expand my knowledge. It started with the blue opalescent. I'm not the blue opalescent, the colored opalescent, the EAPG. And then from there, I went into Depression glass and Murano glass and some of the Victorian glass companies like Webb and just totally went out of my brain what I was going to say there. It'll come back to me. There's some Victorian glass companies that don't fall into those other categories. And just little by little, you learn, and you learn by putting your hands on it too. Let's see. And that fire and ice is my new one. I have found one piece of fire and ice. One piece of fire and ice, and it's new to me, and I'm looking for it now. Once you find that one piece, then okay, I got a feel for it. And the feel, when I say feel, it's not just the surface feel, it's the weight in relation to size. It's the thickness, does it have a waxy feel? Does it have a smooth feel? Does it have a rough feel? There's different textures and feelings. Cheap glass, newer cheap glass is usually very light compared to size and thin, but not thin like antique glass, just thin, chintzy. You just know after you've compared it enough, you're going to figure out what the cheap glass is. All right, looking over here, see what questions I may have missed. I am so glad. That is my goal, is for you guys to be take a piece away, every week that you can build and build and build. I mean, I still listen to other sellers and other YouTubers and read the books and stuff. It never stops. And that's another reason for the niche is if you're selling things that you don't really like, they're going to end up in your death pile because you're not going to want to deal with them. I want to deal with this stuff. I have the shelves with all my little goodies, and I love looking this stuff up. I love learning about it. I love seeing what the history behind it is. So that drives me. That's my motivation to get the work done and get the listings done. So, finding something that brings you joy and you can make money from it, that's a bonus right there. So let's dig in a little bit to looking some things up. I'm going to pull something off of my shelf here. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay, we'll pull this guy. So I didn't buy this because I knew his value. I just knew his value was more than I paid for him, which was $2. So what do I know? Well, I know he's an elephant, and I know he's made of shells, and I know he's made in the Philippines based on his little tag. So there's some things that I know that I can start my research with. So, let me share my screen. Hang on. I usually set this up before I get started, and I forgot. There we go. And let me blow my screen up so you can see it. All right, so we are going to put into the search. You can see I was looking up stuff last night. We're going to look up shell elephant. Now, notice I am not putting in figurine. I'm not putting in Philippines yet. I'm not putting in anything other than shell elephant. I want to have as broad of a search as possible at first, and then I will narrow it down. I also want to search by highest price because I don't care what the ones who are just getting rid of stuff are doing. I don't even pay attention to that most times. I just want to see what the highest priced ones are selling for. So now we have 1,400 plus results here. So I'm going to go immediately over to the sold listings, which is over on the left-hand side. Just click solds. That brought it down to 353. And then I don't need to see jewelry I'm going to look in collectibles, which is the category that I'm most likely to find this item in. So I'm going to go down here and look. I found one. Wow. Vintage elephant figurine cover. Wow. Now that one's 11 inches. This guy's not 11 inches, but boy, that's an encouraging first result to find there. Be careful when you're looking at results that you look how much they've got into shipping there. Because that customer got these from Australia and paid a whopping amount of shipping. So we're going to go down, see if there's one that's about the same size as the one I have. And I'm also noting what other sellers used in their search. Like they're calling this one a baby seashell elephant. Like this is not a good title. I'll tell you right now. And this was also from Australia. So these sell. And it looks like they're mostly from Australia. All right. So I'm going to come back up here and add in the word. And I know I'm spelling that wrong. Is it 1 L and 2 P's? I always get that wrong. 1 L, 2 P's. And I'm going to open it back up to all categories. I have 9 results here. So now you're looking at that going, yeah, but that doesn't really help you determine what to price yours at. So I'm going to peek and see what's available that matches. Really nothing out there. So I've pretty much got the market. Here's one, $25. I like that. You know, I tend to like the $29.99 price range. So now I go with the information I have. I have a shell elephant statue figurine handmade in Philippines, and I will price it $29.99. It'll probably go in a live sale, so I may not price it at that. But if I was going to list it, I'd put it at $29.99 because, again, it could be worth more than that, but I know what I paid. I know kind of what the comp range is out there and the desirability. And I know at $29.99, it's probably going to be a fairly quick sale. And I'll probably get an offer in between $20 and $25, which I will take because it's good profit. Did that make sense? You know how, because I didn't need to find exactly like the right one. I just needed to find a similarity and a price range and go with it and that only took a couple of minutes. Let's do another one. What do I know? Well, the first 2 words that I know are that this is a duck basket. It's a duck basket. Might not even be a basket, but we'll call it a basket and see what that does. So duck basket that I paid $1 for. And I'm going to come back up here, share my screen again. So I'm going to put in duck basket. And again, we have a gargantuan amount of results. So what we have to do, just go down to the solds right off the bat. Gets it down to 392. By the way, that also kind of tells you the sell-through based on that term. How many people are shopping for a duck basket? It went from about 1,900 listings down to 392. Was it 392 divided by 1,900? It gives you the sell-through rate kind of thing. If you really, like those that like to do the math stuff, you can kind of see. If there was only one sold result for 2,000 listings, that's going to be an item that's not going to sell real quick. Just so the higher the amount of results, the faster that type of item sells. Okay, so let's go down and see what we got. Now, I know it's not in pottery and glass, and I'm really not looking for toys and hobbies, and this is vintage, so I'm going to come up here to collectibles and narrow it down to 192. And we're going to see if anything comes up and comes close. And again, as I've always told you guys too, this is also how you fine tune your niche as you're looking at results. Look at how some of these things sell. Other things to be on the lookout for. Like if you see this little guy out at an antique store and they have it priced at 20 bucks, who's going to buy that if they see it at 20 bucks now that you've kind of seen this result? Because I want you to set your sights above just spending $1 to $5 on items. Because if you're willing to spend more, you're going to get bigger margins. So just curious, how many of you would invest $20 to make 60 to 80? And we're going down, we're going down. Looking for a duck, looking for a duck. I got another comment about my singing again. I just giggle. I just giggle when I get some of those comments. Some people are so unhappy out there. It's okay. I can take it. Again, similar. Thank you, Tiger Purple. I can't help myself. It's funny because I get the comments about just be real, just be you. And I'm like, I don't know how to not be me, but okay. So I wonder if he had a cover. Oh, it looks like maybe he had a cover. I've seen other ones that had a cover. Oh, look he is. He's right back there. Look at, I see him. Oh, I wonder. No. Yeah, it pretty much looks like that. So that's it. So based on this, I can see, I mean, I don't have an item that's hundreds of dollars. I have not really found the exact one selling all by itself. And I'm getting down into a price range where even if I find it, I'm not going to go with that pricing. I'm still going to do my pricing. So I am going to price my guy. I'm going to title him Vintage. I think he's rattan. Is he rattan? He's rattan, huh? That's a word I would use. Vintage rattan wicker duck basket. And I will price him at $19.99. $19.99 and expect to get between $15 and $20 for him. Boom, on a $1 purchase. Done. You talk to yourself. Yeah, you know, it's that somebody always calls during the show. That's funny. It's that whole getting the thick skin. In fact, Jocelyn, Crazy Lamp Lady, we were talking this morning about developing that thick skin when your YouTube channel starts growing because, oh my goodness. And I'm just starting to learn that with all of the unhappiness in the world, people let it kind of overflow into their anonymous accounts. We'll just say that. And social media and things where it's safe to do it from behind a keyboard. And you know, honestly, every time I get one of those comments or I get that vibe from somebody, I just pray for them, you know, because it's got to be tough to be living in that state where you're so angry and so unhappy that you've got to spill it out onto others. I mean, I grew up with that. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. Unless you're in the car and they can't hear you and they did something really jerky in front of you. Because I have some dash cam video to prove I do that. I had a little car, like there's 2 lanes to come onto the freeway on-ramp, and we all know that at the end, one lane has to merge, and I'm ahead. I'm ahead of this guy. He's in a little Mini Cooper, and I'm in a Cadillac Escalade, okay? I'm already ahead. I don't fight to get ahead, but if I'm already ahead of you, the rule of merge is that I'm going to be in front of you. He sped up at the last minute and stayed right there next to me so that one of us had to make the decision to slow down. I just slowed down. I let him go. He brake checked me. And then I just like pointed to my camera. I just pointed to my camera, and then he like went on his way. We're like, what? I did have a few choice words. But man, I try not to. Okay, let's look up something that someone sent me. Now, let me just double peek here. And Sheila, did you make it over to the show? Are you in the chat? These were sent to me by Sheila. Okay, there it is. Okay, the pictures are a little out of order, but I just figured out. Okay. Car is the best place to yell and sing and all that. Yes. Oh, I can't even imagine driving a truck. I have pulled a 26-foot stock trailer. I used to drive a Ford F-350 diesel dually, and I pulled my horse trailer behind me. And yeah, people are just oblivious to what it takes to stop a large vehicle like that. So it is crazy. Yeah. Don't let them move in rent free to your head. Yeah, I really, really have had to work at that. Because I take it as, I mean, I want to be that person that that people feel like they can come to for help, that is portraying that love and kindness that, Jesus tells me I need to. So I really worry when somebody makes a comment about me and then I like start second guessing, like, it's like, oh, am I coming across, that way? I get in my own head and start really worrying about it. And I have to stop doing that, because I mean, I know I'm not going to be perfect, but I think I do a pretty good job of loving the people that I should be loving, which is everybody. But yet still standing true to my opinions and beliefs and how I choose to live my life kind of stuff. It can be a tough balance sometimes. Donna says, check your email soon. I do. I check it daily. If anyone sends me emails asking for like ID help or help on an eBay issue, I'm really not able to answer those through email. That's why I created the group. Is I'll go over there and help you in the group, and other people help you in the group. But if I start doing that through email, I will never get any work done. All right. You were singing at the shop the other day and they shut the door on you. Oh, rude. All right. Sheila's here. Yay. Okay, Sheila. I'm going to start showing your stuff. So, this little guy, what do we know? We know he's plush. We know we'll say bird for now, but I actually think he's supposed to be a pterodactyl. That's what I'm thinking. But we know he's San Francisco Giants? Is it? No. 49ers. I don't do sports. Okay. So we know he is San Francisco 49ers. We also know she included a Tushy tag here. There he is. He's by the Forever Company. So we know he's a Forever plush with the San Francisco 49ers logo on him. So we're going to go Plush, San Francisco, and we're going to say forever. Oops, let me go to all categories. So we have 2 results. Here's a Forever Collectibles. This one's so different that it doesn't really apply. But let's see. So this one says Forever Collectibles. So then I'm going to go to what is available because it's just a couple listings. Here we go. So we've got some other Forever Collectibles. And I'm sorted by highest first. So the very highest one is $24.99. And then it kind of goes down from there. Let me see. Some of them are in the $10, $15 range. And again, we're not going to find the exact one. And it's okay. What we have found out is that this brand with this logo sells, well, it's listed in like the $5 to $25 range, but doesn't have a real big sell-through. At least the San Francisco doesn't. The other thing you can do is not type out San Francisco because it's very possible there's a seller out there that does not know that that's the San Francisco 49ers and nothing. But we can also just take that out completely and you can look for other teams. So now we want to go back into the solds, which is down here somewhere. There we go. Oh, I'm in the solds. Duh. If I had just looked over. Now I get where this is then where it gets a little confusing because you're going, oh, wait, that one sold for $275. That one sold for $180. 119. So you have to look at the item that you have. Does it have some other pop culture meaning to it, like Rugrats, Beatles, whoever that guy is, JJ Watt? This is, I'm sure, Super Meat Boy is something. You know, these all have a secondary kind of value thing going on. Let's get down to where it is just a plush. Just a plush. Now, again, we're getting down into a lower range here. Here's some more of the sports ones. And the Burger King. Did Burger King hand these out? See, that can be another clue. Maybe it was handed out by Burger King. Garfield is pop culture. But again, now we're getting down into like a normal price range where you know your item is not worth hundreds of dollars. It's not on the high end. You can pretty confidently price this. I'd probably price him like in this range, in like the $19.99 range. And again, I'll show you. Oops. There. So he's this guy. So I would just price him and you know what you paid for him. So here's the other thing. Don't be afraid that you're going to lose a few dollars of value that, well, what if I could have gotten a little bit more kind of thing. If you're truly worried about that, tag a little bit on to the price and see what happens. But you don't want to price so high that you don't get the interest even, that you're just really kind of priced out there. But yeah, you could pretty confidently price him at $19.99 and call him what you know. He is a friends, what was it? Whatever that said, friends collection, or this is my brain. I have too much on my brain. Forever collection, Forever Collectibles. There we go. Forever Collectibles. I can't read what else it said. It's just the city. Forever Collectibles, plush, bird, pterodactyl. I'm not sure most people know how to spell pterodactyl in the search though, but he's a pterodactyl. San Francisco 49ers. Boom, $19.99. Get them listed, get them sold. Another item is this piece here, which she sent me here. We know it's Napco wear, okay? We know it's got the number 197. So those are things we know about it. I would go over here and put Napco Wear 197 as my very first search. And I would search in what's available. So nothing. I might actually do a Google search, which you guys know I never do my Google searches live because I've had some bad things happen in the past by doing Google searches live. Just saying. All right, so here's my Google search. I'm going to go to images and see what comes up here. Now, what I might add, the other thing that I know about this piece is it's got fruit on it. Okay, let's go fruit. And I can see, no, there isn't really any results. The other thing is if you're worried about dating it, Napco Wear marks. So whatever the brand is, go search those marks, and there's usually lots of places you can go and get information on marks. So lots of blog posts, like this one doesn't give a whole lot of information. If it had this mark, then you could date it here. But just kind of going through and finding, you know, where they've talked about marks, the history of Napco Wear. And this, again, is how you learn Napco Wear history. So you can find out, was it called another company? And I'd like to search in the images, even for this kind of stuff first, because it's going to show you relevant kind of things. Like, okay, here was one that's got, oh, look, and they've got some really good history here. Tells you about Napco Wear. Shows you like some of the labels. This one actually talks about Lefton too, in New Orleans. So that's how I get information. So that being said, I'm going to go back to eBay and go Napco Wear fruit. Okay. I'm got to make sure you're back in the highest because eBay likes to bump you back over to best match. So what we can see now is it's possible. Oh, nope, this would not have had a lid. Okay, I was thinking maybe that was a canister without a lid, but nope. That top does not justify that. But you can see a price range. Nothing is like super duper expensive. It's all kind of down in this $20 to $35 price range, right? Even as you scroll down, it holds steady really in that you know, $20 to $35 price range. And then of course you're going to get some lower ones. You can stop. You don't have to look at the lower ones. You can then go over to solds, 5 results. Here's some fruit plates. They sold for less than $35 because there was a best offer there. This set sold for $16. This sold for $9.99 with $20 shipping. So using that information, depending how quickly you want that item to sell, I would price it I'd probably price it in the $24.99, like the $25 price range. But know that I'm probably going to be taking less to get it sold. And then hopefully you only have $1 or $2 invested. And maybe I forget, you did tell me where you got these items, but I forget. So if you could post that in the chat, you know, what your investment is in the item, and then just go for it. But I think a lot of times what happens is if we don't find the exact item, we get really flustered on doubting ourselves when pricing. Oh, and the Goodwill bins. Yeah. So $20 would be a good return on your investment there. So go with what you know. You know, it's vintage Napco Wear, fruit. Is it a vase or a pot? Because I only have the one picture, so I'm having a little trouble deciding what it is. But whatever you think it is, and go with it. And go with it. Nothing bad's going to happen. Nothing bad. The worst thing that can happen is it doesn't sell. That's it. It's a planter. Okay. Can't go broke making a profit. Let's just suppose somebody comes in later and tells you, oh, that was worth $50. Okay. It happens, but you know what? You made a good profit on it. Now somebody else can make a good profit on it. It's all good. It's all good. It all comes back to you. What's that saying? You win some, you lose some. But in this case, you do enough research that you can be fairly certain that it's not a $50 item. Yep, sometimes there's just no answers, and sometimes that's good. Actually, a lot of times that's good. Yep, don't spend a month researching. Don't spend a month researching. That's the perfect time to go make a post in a group, in my group, another group. That's when you do it. Like, you do not want to spend a month researching something. Time is money. And what happens is, I would bet, okay, show of hands. I know you can't really raise your hands over there, but if you value your time, type yes in the chat. If you value your time, type yes in the chat. And then I'm going to ask a second question to that. I'm waiting. Please tell me some of you value your time. Please, please, please. Oh, phew. Okay. Okay. I'm seeing some yeses. Seeing some yeses. Got almost 250 people watching, and I probably only got a couple dozen yeses over in the chat. Okay. So here's what I want to tell you. First off, to those who said yes, how much is an hour of your time worth? If you said yes, how much is an hour of your time worth? And if you said no, you do everything for free? This was a tough one for me. This was a really tough one for me because I went and took a job. I went and took a job that paid $12.50 per hour. And I was only getting paid for the 8 hours that I was on the job. And I had about an hour and a half driving each day. I had to give up other things to do that. So really, it was less than $12. And I thought, if I worked this hard for myself, how much further ahead would I be? How much would I really be making? And that's where I decided, and you hear me say it often, my price point I want to be at is at least $20. And the reason for that is I figure that if I go for an average of $20, my average profit per item is going to be at least $10 after all the fees of the shipping supply, everything. I want at least $10 because I can do all the work to list, photo, research, and ship an item in about 15 minutes. So that's 4 per hour. So that's paying me $40 per hour. And that's how I came to my amount. And the way to give yourself a raise is just start looking for better and better and better and better items to raise your average price. Yeah. 20 is good. I think 20 is a minimum. Let's face it. The new minimum wage is going to be $15 per hour. Okay. So y'all better at least value your time at least $15 an hour, right? Okay. So now going back to when you're spending hours and hours on research, if you're doing this as a business and you're not just researching for fun, just remember that every hour that you put into research, you just spent whatever that amount was you put in the chat. You just spent that amount of money on this item. And I'm going to say usually that's going to outvalue the item, right? So the item that's only worth $25, if you spend an hour researching and you said your time is worth $25 an hour, you just took all of your profit away, all of your profit. And in that same amount of time, you could have listed, let's say, another 4 items that are worth $25. So you could have listed another $100 worth of items in that same time you spent doing all of that research. That's why I'm so passionate about teaching you guys to just do quick research. And you triage. Like, you look at it and you go, okay, first thing I need to know, is how broken this is. First thing I need to know is this potentially worth more than $50? Like, that's just a number I'm going to throw out there. Is this item worth spending a little time researching, or should I just list it with what I got? So in this case, because this is super old and very unique, I decided this was worth spending a little bit more time on. If this had had a mark on it, like a company, and I looked at the company and the company range was a certain amount, I would have stopped there. What I have found out about this, by the way, is a lot of you guys said it wine holder, but it's not. This would have been a card receiver. So back in the Victorian days, probably sitting on a fancy schmancy entry table kind of thing, they would have had this, and you would have put your calling card in here. So this is a pretty cool little guy here. And so then once I found out what it was, did a little research, he's still not worth more than, like, 30, 40 bucks. But if I have a piece of glass that I know is a really good piece of glass, I am going to spend a little bit more time figuring out what it is based on what I think the margin is. Okay? Yeah, it might have had a little crystal plate on it. Yeah, I was seeing that too. Yep, absolutely. Yeah. And if you are researching because you love researching, then allow yourself a designated amount of time for your hobby researching, okay? Just your learning, your fun time. That doesn't count into your making money time. Yeah. Hello, Donna. Glad you made it for your first time. Have I ever seen pink uranium glass glows? So glass of all colors can glow. They used uranium in a lot of different colors of glass. Now, the green is what we think of and know, but Vaseline glass is actually not green. It is a Vaseline yellow cream, and it glows. And so pink glass, yeah, use your black light on pink glass. It doesn't, she's dreaming again. It doesn't always glow the same color as the Vaseline glass, and clear glass can glow, some of the old EAPG. It's about what they used to make the glass itself before it was made into what it was made into. So a lot of old glass glows because they used either uranium or is it magnesium? I think it's magnesium that also glows. So yeah. But there are several types of minerals that glow. Yep. And newer glass does not tend to glow unless they have specifically, kind of designed. I don't think they're allowed to use uranium anymore. Pretty sure that, government probably put the old stomp down on that. Oh, so you're so frustrated with the whole Blanco. Whoops. Chat's moving. With the Blanco versus Empoli issue on your vase that you're going to take the manufacturer name off of it altogether without changing the price. I wouldn't do that. Tell me more. Tell me more about, I don't know how you have it listed. But who is telling you it's not one or the other? And have you researched what they're telling you? Because sometimes I'll take what somebody tells me, I'll go do the research based on that, and I'll go, oh, okay, all right, maybe they're right, and then just change it. But I would always go with a manufacturer name, even if it's one or the other. Pick one. Yeah, it's manganese. That's the word I was looking for. All right, manganese, cadmium, selenium, all glow. Perfect. Thank you. Someone sent you a message on eBay. Okay, what did they say? Tell me what they said. Let's go. Can you put the item number in? Let's look at it. Solve it right now. But then, I got to make sure I let my pool guy in before he gets here. He hasn't messaged me yet. Good. Okay. I told him I'd do my show until 2:00. He can't come before 2:00. Send me the item number. We'll look it up real quick. Let's solve this mystery. Many of us, not all of us, many of us are very, very susceptible to self-doubt. It is very pervasive, this self-doubt thing. And it is something that I struggle with so bad. And I am learning to be confident in my thoughts and processes. Okay, I found it. So it is this Blanco Jade green crackle glass vase. So, okay, I would not say that that's Empoli. Really? So one of the ways you can do this, again, I have a Google search I'm going to do, but I'm going to just play it safe here. There is a great site. You may not know about this. It is called Blanco Glass Collectors, the Blanco 4. BlancoCollectors.com. Sorry, I was reading a text and I shouldn't have been doing that. So this can help you narrow down based on color. So let me look at the color of yours again. Got that? Okay. So let's pull up Blanco Jade. So there's Blanco Jade. And it did come in the crackle. Yeah, that does look like Blanco Jade to me. Looks like Blanco Jade to me. And it was produced only in 1958. So it's going to be kind of a rare color. But then you can kind of look at the other Blanco. Like some of the greens are very, very close because there's a pine green too. Yeah, yours looks like that jade. Looks like that jade green. Ooh, that's pretty. I love this Blanco site. And then you can just go into all the greens and compare them. Look, they have like this whole thing here where you can compare the greens and look for the shapes too. Okay, you use this site. If you did your research and you use this site, I'm going to say stick to your guns. Stick to your guns. It looks Blanco to me. I love this site though. I can just get lost here. Okay, so the other site I'm going to look at real quick is the 20th Century Glass site, and they have the encyclopedia. So let's go to Empoli. Let's go look at Empoli Verde. See, the green is different with Empoli. That is a much different green. It's a much different style. I think you are spot on with Blanco. Nah, I think you're good. I stand with you on the Blanco. Go with it. And because it's a rare color, you know, you could really freak them out and raise the price. Yeah, always make them back up what they're saying. And make it as like, oh, you know, really, that's interesting. My research has shown that this is what it is. Please tell me how I can verify what you're saying. Yeah. Those websites were 20th Century Glass and BlancoCollectors.com. Yeah. So, yeah, just be confident. Don't let people rattle you. Don't let them shake you. And that is really, really, really what the groups are really good for. Come in there and say, I have this, what I believe to be a Blanco jade, blah, blah, which is a rare color, because you'll get a bunch of other people go and do the research and help you with that, because then they learn too. And then they back you up on it. Yeah. Yeah, we do have in the file section, we do have a file of research sites. Yep. All right. Yeah. And if you posted in the group and I didn't see it, I apologize. I really have been trying to stay off Facebook as much as possible. But I do get into the group at least once a day and go through things. So if you need my help, you don't see me pop in, you can tag me. What about not being able to identify the signature on a piece? Then go with what you know. Again, look at the style. Look at, you know, is it Scandinavian in style? Is it an American style? Is it mid-century? Is it whatever that is? And put art glass and signed in your listing and put a high price on it. Just put a high price on it. Research what you think it might be and kind of look at signatures and things and price ranges. It is the niche to profit on eBay, Etsy, and more group. I think Melissa will probably put the link in there because she has it saved for just such an occasion. Yeah. All right. You guys feel more confident now in your pricing and in your valuing your time and not spending tons of time on any one piece. Go with what you know. Get as close in the range that you can and be okay with letting it fly. Just letting it fly. Don't let OCD cost you money. Let it go and get it sold. And if you're ever worried, post it in auction format. You know what? I think this is something I'm going to do in the group. I love it. We're going to do once a week, I'm going to have a thread where you can post an item, just like we just talked about, that you listed in auction format, And so you can bring it in there and we'll know that they're the items that you're kind of like wondering, what did I do with this? And you can get some feedback on it. Maybe even get some bids. There is over 6,000 people in that group that are collectors. Now, I don't want anybody taking advantage of anyone, so I'm going to watch that thread very closely. If you can't find any info, how do you know it's desirable? You won't know its desirability until you list it. That's it. Get it up there and see what kind of traction you get. And just remember, you can't go broke making a profit. If it sells and you get that gut-wrenching, oh no, what if I didn't list it high enough? Look at how much you made on it. If you made a good margin, and that's what I encourage you, price it with a good margin, then just pat yourself on the back and say, now I can use that money and go buy something else just as profitable or more. And I've had that happen too. I had a pair of bronze, some bronze, were they bookends? Sculptures? I don't know. It was a long time ago. I listed them at a really high price, like $500. I went to a show with my now ex-husband and sat down in the seat and got the ka-ching. And my heart sank. And I was like, oh no, that means I listed them too low. And he looked at me and he said, are you crazy? You just turned $50 into $500 in literally like 15 minutes. Don't worry about it. So there you go. There you go, Lois. Yeah. Turning $5 into $55 within 24 hours. That's a pat yourself on the back. You sold it for a good profit, and now you can take that money and turn it into something else. You can go broke making a profit if you can't pay your bills. I disagree. The name of the game is profit and getting it sold. You can go broke if you price it so high that it's not selling, or you don't take offers and it's not selling and you don't get that revenue in order to pay your bills. But profit is king. What does it really cost to start with eBay? Nothing. Literally nothing. You can start on eBay with things around your house that you have, things that you invested money at some point, but you've gotten your use out of them. So that you're not going out and buying inventory. You just start with what you got. Use that money, turn it into more things, and build your business. Awesome, Tammy A. You need turnover to make a profit. That is correct. Things have to sell for you to make the money to keep doing it. And don't use every cent of your business to go buy more stuff. You've got to pay yourself a portion of that. Otherwise, you're just moving cash around. Yeah, that's a whole nother show. Exactly. My mom started in 2012 with zero cost, with literally yarn that she had in her craft room. Yep. No, you started with your dog collection. I thought you started with your yarn. Started with your dog collection. Okay. I know. I remember that because I kind of freaked out that you were selling all the dogs that I'd grown up with. Oh, wow, Nishana. You lost your medical job after 9/11 and became a reseller. Am I having an issue with USPS? I am not. Knock on wood. No, don't bark. No. I knew it as soon as I did it, she was going to start barking. Okay, you did start with the yarn first. That's right. And then you moved on to the little dogs. Oh, little dogs. That one is. Who needs a doorbell when you got that? Slow nickel, fast dime. Yep. Cash is king. Yeah, I know there are still some USPS issues. I remember we've got, big snowstorm. I don't think they have that logo, rain, wind, snow, or sleet, whatever that thing was that will get the mail delivered. Nah, I think they're a little lazier now. Shouldn't say lazy. Yeah, maybe lazy. I mean, we are a prissier society. Let's face it. We don't like to be uncomfortable anymore. Like, with the times have changed. I know for a fact. Here we go. Here's one. My mailbox is not at my house. It's not even on the same street as my house. And I have a delivery coming that is signature required because it's an expensive item. And the seller messaged and said, it says that delivery was attempted. I messaged them back and I said, no, it was not. And I tell you, you see me look over here. It's because I'm looking right out my front window. My gate is right there. I sit here. I can see if somebody comes to my front gate to deliver something. No mailman even drove onto the street. So I know for a fact they didn't attempt it, but they marked it down as delivery attempted so they don't get in trouble. Yeah. So if they do that again, I'm going to contact the postmaster. Yeah, East Coast is having really bad issues right now. Yeah, and their workforce is down. I mean, this is normal, like flu season anyway. So you add monster cousin Rona in there. Yeah, there's a lot of people not working. And yeah. Do you have separate bank accounts for eBay? I have a separate bank account for my business, and my business includes eBay, Etsy, Poshmark, Cherish, Facebook Marketplace, and YouTube. So anything business related, because my business is just under my name, goes into that account. And all expenses that I have for business come out of that account. And then I pay myself into my personal account. Get a box sit in Jersey City for 3 weeks. Yeah, I hope it gets better soon. Backed up 4 to 6 weeks. You're getting your Christmas cards now. Ouch. That's a big ouch. I don't polish anything silver or silver plate because here's the thing. Some buyers want the patina that only comes from age. And if they don't, it is a lot easier to polish the item than it is to wait all those years to get that patina back. So I don't polish. So you're afraid of listing something wrong, so some things sit on the shelf. Yep, don't do that. Don't do that. If you bought it to list it, get it listed. Get it listed. Yep. Okay. My pool guy just texted and said he's on his way, which means I have to go unlock the gate. And before I unlock the gate, I have to let the dogs go do a little something in the backyard. Otherwise, I'll do a little something in the house. So with that, everyone, this has been fun. Thank you. I am going to come on tomorrow for a live haul from the estate sale. I'm not sure what time, though. Got a lot of stuff happening tomorrow. But I will be live sometime in the evening to go through the things that I bought at the estate sale. So with that, I hope to see you tomorrow. Now go be profitable and make it fun. And we'll see you on the next one.